Hey guys, this is Michael again from your Western Outpost in Salt Lake City, and I'm getting ready to start on my next project. This project also belongs to a customer. This is a Zenith, a 1942 Zenith Model 7S682. Now 7 means it's a 7-tube radio. The 6 means it's made in 1942, and this radio has, yep, you guessed it, a phonograph. And this one came with the phonograph. It wasn't an original phonograph that it came with. In fact, it's out of the unit right now. It's down in my electronics shop. I'll show that to you in a minute. It came with a basically a manual phonograph. That's what the owner brought the radio to me with, and he wants that phonograph to work and be restored. And it's actually a pretty cool one, so I'm looking forward to it. But this is your typical 1942 Zenith, standard fare Zenith. It's very similar to the 661 that I recently did, except for the phonograph part and the number of tubes, of course. But this radio it's a well-made cabinet, a nice classic 1930s and early 40s cabinet style. And this cabinet's actually in pretty good shape. I'll clean this cabinet up with some Howard's Restore. I'll make it shine up real nice, and I'll put a little bit of the Howard's Feed and Wax on it to make it look real pretty. And I think this thing's going to look great. Now, there is some finish loss, but nothing too terrible, nothing that's going to really detract from the way this radio looks. And what you see inside the dial opening there is something I thought was pretty odd. This radio came to me, the phonograph door has some springs on it to kind of balance and help operate it, but somebody had mounted a door closer, a vintage door closer no less, to serve the purpose of maybe those springs. I have no idea why they would use a door closer, but it's actually kind of a cool old door closer. I don't know what I'm going to do with the thing, but of course it will not be in the radio when the radio is done. I have the chassis down in my electronics shop. I'm getting ready to start working on it. So let's take a real quick look here in the back of this cabinet, and I'll show you what we're starting with. Pretty standard Zenith fare. I do have the wave magnet antenna, and the speaker's downstairs too. The speaker's going to need some work, but there are those springs I mentioned, and that's what's supposed to be there, and there really isn't supposed to be anything else there, and that should be sufficient. Now, if that record player is too light, because it is simple, then I'll figure out something to do there. But I think it's going to be fine. So I am not doing the cabinet on this radio. I am just doing the electronics. And the wood's in pretty decent shape, as I mentioned. So I think this won't be any big deal of a job. We'll get going on it, and I'll show you the chassis in just a minute.